Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're working on a living room renovation project, including a stone fireplace with a barnwood mantle. It made out of a barnwood beam. It came from the same barn that bar top countertop I did recently. Same barn, going into the same house. Enjoy the episode. A few episodes ago, I talked about how we wanted to get this fireplace done before Christmas, and I showed a few clips of us taking the old one out. By the time the installer got the new unit in place, it was just a few days before Christmas, and he got it up and running, but we couldn't finish the facade in time. It must have been an afterthought of the builder, because there was just 2-foot sections of drywall behind the old fireplace wall. So we ended up ripping it all out, blocking off the old vent from the original fireplace, filling that with insulation, and then putting full sheets of drywall in there, mud and taped everything so there'd be no air loss. The old pieces were just up there, not even taped or anything. I don't know why. I think they built the wall for the fireplace. Someone must have crawled in there with 2-foot pieces of drywall and nailed them up. Didn't mud them or tape them or anything. So that's all gone. We built a new wall to the specs of the installer, and then we came back after Christmas to build our wall. We just did a simple 2x4 wall to the specs that we have from the fireplace, and I covered it in cement board. I made sure to put any blocking for where the mantle was going. They weren't hanging a TV above this or anything, so I didn't put any extra blocking up there, just the regular studs. Before Christmas and after Christmas, the clients decided that they wanted to add pot lights into the room and for us to paint, so the jobs always grow, they never shrink. You can see from some of the earlier clips that the room had very little light. It just ran from a light switch to an outlet. I don't know why builders 30, 40 years ago thought it was a good idea, but all the living room spaces, there's no actual ceiling lights. It's just a switch that operates an outlet, which you would use a floor lamp to light the room. Super dated idea. I'm glad they went with the pot lights on dimmers. Great solution. If you have a project similar to this, where you have a textured ceiling and there is no light in the ceiling above, and you want to add pot lights, the best way to do it, pull power from the switch to the outlet and create an access hole in the wall above it, and then create access holes along the edge of the wall to each joist bay where you would like to put your pot lights in. And then, so you're not messing with redoing that ceiling and retexturing it or skimming or whatever. You just make small access points in each joist bay, run your wire to where you want your pot lights, drill your holes for your pot lights, and then come back after with a crown molding around the room. You could actually run the wires under the ceiling between your access points, and the crown molding covers that all up. Is a great tip. Want to add pot lights to a room with textured ceilings, and you don't want to mess with the textured ceilings. Since the installer wanted the new wall to be a few inches back from the original fireplace, we had this weird drywall transition from the new wall to the old wall. So on the edges of each side, I built 2 sides out of a barnwood that Home Depot sells off the shelf. It comes in 3 colors, white, gray, and brown. The clients wanted brown. Built the 2 sides at the height of the mantle, laser leveled that, cut them to the right height. After that, I was able to take my template material, which I'll show you in a second. It's just you can buy 1/8 inch masonite in a 4x8 sheet for about $10–15 and have Home Depot cut it into little strips. I use a hot glue gun to glue the pieces together at the right dimensions. I can take that template, put it on top of my beam, and cut it, and it fits the wall perfectly. We use this template material for countertops, showers, everything. It is a lifesaver. If you need to cut a unique material to a unique shape and you only have one chance of doing it, always make a template. Here's a quick shot of that template that I used for the mantle. I fit these pieces to the wall, made sure the angles were right, and I just use hot glue to attach these pieces. These just represent the depth of the beam. For the purpose of this, I didn't actually have to put a front piece on it, but this is just 1/8 inch masonite that you could buy in a 4x8 sheet for under 20 bucks. I have Home Depot cut these to like 2.5 inches strips, and they're perfect for making templates for countertops and anything like that. Once my sides are built and the mantle is placed, we're ready to stack the stone. When you have 2 people, it's always better for one person to be setting the stone. I was in and out cutting. We had a bunch of pieces laid on the floor in the different colors and sizes, and we just test fit different shapes and different sizes to make it look random but make all the joints nice and tight. Any piece that needed to be modified, I took outside and just dry cut them with a grinder and a diamond blade. This stone is just a man-made concrete product, so it's easy to cut and easy to work with. And we just use a stone veneer mortar to put it up onto the cement board. Just to make a clean transition between the stone on the above the mantle and the drywall, we did 2 pieces of MDF and painted it the wall color. The wall color that we went with is called Tinsmith by Sherwin-Williams, and the crown molding we paint with a flat white. It's called Part 200, also from Sherwin-Williams. I've said it once and I'll say it again. If you aren't using kitchen bags to line your trays and using Dollarama paintbrushes, you're missing out. It's crazy to think how time flies. While we're working on this fireplace renovation, I realized that it was only a few years before that we did a refacing on the kitchen, and we also have done the deck on this house. If I find any pictures of that, I'll put them up on the screen. This was just a simple kitchen cabinet refacing. If your kitchen has a great layout and the cabinets are in good shape, you can just order new doors and put a new vinyl skin on all the cabinets to make it look brand new. New doors, new skin, and put a new countertop on completely transforms your kitchen. It's great if you're on a budget and love the layout of your kitchen and the cabinets are still in good shape. I really appreciate you guys watching my video. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. If you liked the video, hit that like button, consider subscribing. Any comments or questions, leave them down below. We are currently moving into a new project. We're going to be working on a condo. We're going to be skimming ceilings, new countertops, full bathroom renovation, some flooring and paint. So stick around, don't want to miss that. We are still on and off working on the shop here. Thank you for watching my video. I'll catch you in the next one.